country life. Found myself a woman that it took for me to be my wife. I was working on the ground, come the sun up to sundown. Hey, I'm trying to make a reputation for a man inside this town. Hard as I try, maybe I just can't. I ain't no up and kind of leaving me. She kissed me one time and she took my heart. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star. Well, working 3 jobs, living out of a car. Mama never told me life would get this hard. Running around the world playing my guitar. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star. I'm a honky-tonk star. Lord, I'm a honky-tonk star. Playing my guitar. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star.
I am muted every time. I do not understand why that thing does not mute. I'm not expecting a whole lot of people to show up to this stream. I did absolutely no prior acknowledgement of the stream, no promotion of the stream whatsoever. I'm trying to get a little background music going here, but this is not a very well produced stream. Let's just put it that way. This is not a well produced stream at all. What we're going to do though is we are going to set our print-on-demand dropshipping site live. And I was hoping to do that last week, but didn't really work out. So I'll work on getting my my music setup going. We're about to take these streams up a few notches. I'm about to spend some time on it. I've got a new studio I'm working on. Of course, you see all sorts of, I can hear myself in the headphones, so that's no good. Sure, I don't want an infinite loop there. But it's time to get the site up and get to selling. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to finally have this thing out there in the wild and to see if we can actually sell some shirts. It's 10:08 here local time in the morning, and I have a TikTok going out at 10:30, which kind of promotes one of the shirts. Now I don't know if it'll do real well. I don't know if it'll do well at all. It's not a pushed ad, but it is a TikTok video that mentions one of the shirts. So we've got about 20 minutes here to get the site up and live, but I've done most of the preparations. So to give you an idea of what we've done so far, let's bring up the site. Let's show you the site. All right, so we've got, this is Bruzel. You see my down for maintenance thing that's covering up my logo here, but we've got, you know, kind of this Bourbon Hunters shirt, which I think could be fairly popular as our feature. We've got a notice here of our discounts. Now, I haven't found an app in the BigCommerce marketplace that allows us to do what I want to do with the bulk discounts in a very user-friendly way. So we're using discounts. We're going to make it work for now. This won't scale if we add different types of products. Like I have some hats I want to add, but I can't right now because of the way this discount is working. So and again, I might be able to work it around and make that function, but we've got some work to do there, for sure. But it's better to be live and selling than to not. We've also had some kind of quirks and features and bugs and issues in between Guten and BigCommerce that I've kind of had to navigate around and figure them out. Like, none of them were terribly complicated, but there definitely were some lessons learned there. So we've got the site. These are automatically populated based on orders. So these 3 shirts are the 3 shirts that I placed test orders for this morning, just to make sure that it was actually charging cards and the orders were going through and being printed and things like that. We've new products here, which I probably end up removing those. I don't know. Long term, we'll see. So we've got, the site is pretty much ready to go. There's probably 8 to 10 different designs in here with different colors. Now, I've separated those colors out for a reason. BigCommerce doesn't do real well when you've got multiple colors and sizes, but they're not the same. For instance, if you've got a white shirt that has a 4XL, but then you've got a gray shirt that doesn't have a 4XL. Of course, this is going to ring while I'm trying to have a live stream. I thought my ringer was turned off, but apparently that's an amateur hour. I told you the whole stream's going to be amateur hour. We're just hanging out. We're going to launch this print-on-demand site, and, nothing real formal. I didn't have a whole lot planned. I'm just kind of going through the final preparations, setting the site live, and hoping that someone orders a t-shirt or 2. We've got that TikTok going out at 10:30. That'll hopefully, TikToks take a little while to get momentum. So I'm not expecting to get a sale on the stream or anything like that. But we've got, 8 to 10 different designs in some different colors on the site. I've probably got 20 more designs ready. I just didn't have time to get them all prepared and get them in here. And we want to be able to roll out and announce new things and, sign people up to the newsletter and to try to have some hype around some of these shirts. So I put some of the more common ones, some that I thought might be, a little more broadly appealing, and then we'll go through and add more to it as we continue to expand. Now, a few of the things we had to figure out, again, was this. Of course, the About Us page is not working. I got to look into that. I changed it to About Bruzel, so now I have to update that link. See, testing before you launch your site. So this bundle and save is, again, it's kind of a mess, but it works. We've got 2 shirts, 3 shirts, and 5 shirts, and you get a discount at each one of those to save money. You also get free shipping at 3 or more shirts. About Bruzel seems to be good. So let's log in here and see if I can remember now where's that menu at? That's a good question. I don't remember. Is that freaking hard coded? It may be hard coded. I'm trying to remember. I may have I think I did hard code that into the theme. So what I might want to do instead of fixing that is go back and just change the page to not be About Bruzel and just be back to About Us. Make sure that's what it was. I'm just going to change it back to About Us. And then hopefully that now functions. About Us. Now comes to this page. Down here it comes to this page. Okay, so that was a simple fix because I think I hard coded that. The menu didn't really show categories and the page in kind of the same context there. So we wanted to change that. All right, so we've kind of got good, and you can see a couple of orders. I've got some test orders. I'm doing some hats and things I wanted to get some samples of before we try to put those on the website. So let's set this sucker live. Like, let's just do it. I'm nervous. Like, I really am. I'm sure there are going to be problems. There are going to be problems. It's a new site launch. This site has not been properly tested like we would normally do a client site because I'm doing it all myself. I'm trying to do it just like you would do it, right? As I have a little time here and there, I get in here, I tinker with the site, I work on it. But I've gone through, I've placed orders, I've browsed around on it, but I have been changing settings and things as we go. And so that's liable to mess it up. Just like that About Us we just found. So All right, so I am now setting the site open. So let's try an incognito window here. Just make sure that that sucker is now a live functioning selling website. It took about 3 weeks longer than I had hoped to get to this point, but it is now a functioning selling website with products on it. And if you happen to be in the chat here watching this, let me know what you think about the products. Let me know what you think about the site, good or bad. Like, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? What would you have done differently? What would you have done differently? The chat has been really, really quiet on these. I'll be honest with you. I guess it's probably not promoting the site as much. So the site, it's now up. Again, we've got a TikTok going out in about 15 minutes that is going to hopefully generate a little bit of traffic to the site. Again, I'm not sure how well TikToks are going to drive traffic. They may do a fantastic job. They may not do a fantastic job. We're going to try some ads on TikTok and some different things like that. Next week, I'm going to be trying to set up some Facebook ads and, really get some traffic going to the website. For now, our focus has been just on getting the thing live and actually having something to sell, because ads don't matter if you're not selling anything. So if we go over here now, theoretically, that should be gone away. I haven't tested this mobile menu. Looks like it's fine. All right. So now the nerves can begin. One of the issues we had as well is Guten discontinued a size. So I had that issue I had to deal with this morning. They discontinued 4XL in white, and I went in and removed it from Guten, but it didn't remove it from BigCommerce. So I actually went in, one of my test orders was ordering that size, and the order went in fine. I got the payment just fine. I've got to refund myself, but I got the payment just fine. Everything went through just fine, but that order will never be processed. Guten didn't pull it in. There was no notification. I wasn't notified at all. I mean, I was notified the order came in, but I wasn't notified there was a problem with Guten fulfilling it, because they just think it's some order. It's a product that they're not fulfilling, because you can do their stuff and you can add your own products or from another source or whatever. So they just didn't even mention it. They just disregarded the order altogether. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out in case that happens. And just make sure there's not a disconnect there. But if you're in the chat, let me know. Hope I got GA incorporated. I did get the business is incorporated. What do you mean by GA? Just make sure we're talking about the same thing here. But I did get the business incorporated. That was one thing that took a little bit of time. I had to have the lawyers go through all of that. We want all the proper protections. We want everything set up as it needs to be. So, we've got some protections there. I still got some of the accounting stuff I've got to set up. This is, our TikTok we've set up. We've gotten about 5,300 followers. We were posting most days. And then I haven't had time the last couple of weeks. I've really been focusing on, some different things, some business stuff with Jamerson, and trying to get this site finished. So a lot of my time has gone into that. Now that that's a little, we've got the site up, hopefully I can shift back to posting. But this is, this Bourbon Derby is an ad for the Bourbon Hunter t-shirt. I would play it, but the audio is not going to come through and things like that. So you can go to TikTok, go to find Bruzel. That'll go live here in about 13 minutes. So I'll be interested to see if somebody actually, if they actually view it, if it generates any traffic. It's not a direct link, right? It's not like an ad where you click on it and it'll take you over to the site. It is an organic post, but we're getting, 9,000. That one was one where we were experimenting a little bit, but a normal organic post for us will do, 5 to 15,000 views, just a normal post, nothing really exceptional. We do have a few that have kind of broken out, like that one has 140,000, but that was just us being silly. And then we have some like 30,000, 40,000 that really kind of get to that next tier. But an average post is 5 to 15,000. And so if we could get 5 to 15,000, if we could get a couple of percentage of those to go over and view the shirt, and then a couple of percentage points of those to actually order it, we'll get a handful of orders. And that would be a good day. Oh, Google Analytics. You know what? I'm not sure I've got Google Analytics completely set up at this point. I need to. You're right. You are right. That was on my list and it got cut. Let's do that right now. I do have Google. I added Google. That was the domain thing right there. That's a good call. That was one of the things I was wanting to do and didn't get around to it. So I need to set that up real quick. Real quick. I'm just going over here to add a domain to my Google Analytics account. So I won't be sharing that with you guys, obviously. But I had to authorize the domain, and then I did that, and then I ran out of time. So I'm trying to. The dashboard has changed a bit before since I've been over here. So trying to figure out how to add a freaking new one. There's no, used to be an add button right there. But that's a good call. Thank you for mentioning that. Oh, here we go. We're getting there now. We're getting there. Okay, admin. Somebody else's site. I don't know why I'm on. Hold on, I'm on somebody else's. That's the problem. That is the problem. I'm viewing someone else's data here. I don't want to be doing that. So that's one of the reasons as well. I didn't add it, or didn't screen share it, I should say. All right, so we're getting Google Analytics set up because I did not have that. And I appreciate you letting me know. So I'm just, let's see, small business. I want to measure some crap, create it. How do I add it? This is a good bit different than the last time I've done it. All right. Okay, let's see. How do you add Google Analytics into here? Store settings? No. There's a place in here to set up Google. I've got to find it. Just, how about this? Couldn't find it. Well, all right then. Who needs it? Who needs it? Analytics. There you go. How about that? How about I just set up friggin' analytics? Maybe it's in there. We do have their analytics, which is, better than nothing, but it would have made sense that it was in here, right? Like it would have made sense that it was in here. So like I said, this is for those that are just joining, this is an impromptu stream. We are trying to set up our site. We have set the site live, and I'm trying to set up Google Analytics, but I forget where stuff is in here. I click around and then I forget where they are. That is a problem I need to rectify by spending more time in here. Let's Google Amp. Data solutions right here. Look at there. Look at there. Hey, like a champ. Make sure that was the. See over here, it's called Stream ID, but then there's a measurement ID. I don't know if I've set it up properly, but we're gonna find out. Okay. Well, Stream ID, I think, is the right thing. So that's what we're gonna go with. There's a measurement ID though, and I have no idea what that is. So we'll see if that works. But I do have their stats and analytics that at least give me an idea of how much traffic we're getting, those kinds of things. Um, all right. So what other questions? What do y'all want to talk about? What did I not do that I need to do to launch this site? Rahari had a great recommendation there, Google Analytics, which should now be set up. All right, so we're going to go for about another 35 minutes. This TikTok should go out in 5 minutes, so I'm excited about that. We'll see how that comes along. I just want to kind of click around. We've got payment methods. I've tested every payment method. So I went through this morning and I tried a credit card. I tried, what was it, Amazon Pay and, or no, it's Google Pay. I tried credit card. I tried Google Pay. May need to get rid of that Amazon Pay. I don't know if that's really an option. We've got Google Pay, PayPal. So I need to remove that Amazon Pay, but that's, again, that's something we can deal with. It's not a huge deal. I wonder if that's a configuration in the theme. Might make it really simple to remove that. There we go. So we're not using Amazon Pay. We are doing Amex. I think we'll take Discover. I don't know. I don't know if we take Discover. I was planning on using Braintree for the payments, but I had so much trouble getting it set up. It was just a freaking nightmare. And so we're taking PayPal, even though right now with a brand new PayPal account, they're freezing everything until I provide tracking information. We still are going to take it, at least for now, until it becomes problematic. But I was going to use Braintree and I couldn't set up an account. Like, it kept telling me that the Bruzel email address was tied to an account, but then I couldn't reset a password to log in. If I called Braintree, I ended up getting forwarded to PayPal support and they couldn't help me. And so I just gave up and went to Stripe. So now we're using Stripe. Just went with what was simple. I mean, that's what most folks should do. Just go with what's simple. Like, I didn't have any need for Braintree. That's just what I was trying to use because it's what I wanted to use. And it was harder. So did we set up GTM? We did not set up GTM, Rory. Rory's going to give me a hard time about that. Robin Jones, glassware. Gooten doesn't have a ton of glassware options. I want to do some glassware. I'm going to order some Glencairns and probably have them customized like this. And that'll probably be the first product that we actually ship ourselves, that we inventory. And then when an order comes in, we're going to ship these out. So we definitely want some glassware. That is one of the things that I want to do. Make sure I know didn't realize I'm still on this in this zoomed out view here. But we definitely want some glassware for sure. And Rory, we'll set up GTM. Right now it's just get the site live. Get the site live. Let's not over prepare, because we could prepare forever. And it's already taken more time than I wanted. We're already weeks behind. Let's launch this sucker. And if it doesn't make any orders, like if nobody's buying anything, none of that stuff really matters that much. So, Ferrari loves the website overall, especially the homepage gets me directly to the t-shirts. Most popular section could be centered. Well, the most popular section only has 3 because I've only placed 3 test orders. So it will be centered. It'll have 4 as soon as another order is placed for a different shirt. So I agree. It should be centered. It's just there's only 3 there because there's only 3 shirts ever been ordered on the site with my test orders. So it'll center itself as soon as another order is placed. I had actually built out a fake most popular products area where I controlled them. And then, because I didn't even realize this one was here. Like, I just didn't even notice it in the theme. And I built one out using the page builder. And then as soon as I ordered a product, it popped up. And I was like, well, that's cool. I guess I would rather have it automated if it actually looks at the most popular products. So I removed mine. And so we'll just have to deal with this off-centered one until there's 4 of them. These shirts they're all direct to garment printing. So they're not going to be, they're not going to be silk screened. They basically use like a really high-end inkjet style printer, right? Like it's not necessarily inkjet, but it's going to be very similar to a printer you would have, but it's going to print directly on the garment. Now, the good thing about that method is that they are printed on demand, right? Like I don't need to order 1,000 shirts and hold them in inventory. They'll print one at a time as the orders come through. We lose a little margin there, but we don't have to worry about warehouse or inventory or shipping or any of that stuff. The only real downside I've seen, you're not going to get that super thick print, which some people like, some people hate. Honestly, with the shirts we went with, where they're a little lighter weight, a little more premium shirts, I think the thinner print actually works better on those shirts. But the real downside is that you don't get that really saturated colors. So you want to go with a little more faded, muted colors, or your colors are going to come out a little more faded and muted than you intended. That's really been the only negative consequence. We've got, I've got a bunch of samples here. We ordered a bunch of them, and then, not through the site, but just through them as samples, and run them through washing machines, beat them up a little bit, and they seem to be holding up extremely well. So, it's been, haven't really, not worried about the quality. We did get our first batch of samples that were a little off, like they weren't wonderful. The variation on the colors were not, to our standards. We had a couple of little damage on one of the shirts. But we let Gooten know. They fixed that issue. They shipped us out new samples, and all the samples we've gotten since then have been top notch. So, it's something we have to keep an eye on. It is something that concerns me about print on demand, not a Gooten issue. Just, anybody, we have no control. There is no quality control from our side. And so, we have to make sure that their quality control is up to our standards, because it's going directly from them to the customer. And the only time we know anything about it is when there's a complaint and a return. And then that's on us. That's not on the print on demand, unless there's, I'm sure we can work with them on it if there's some big issue, right? To at least get a refund on our costs for that. So that is a bit of a concern, that I had to get over. But there's a ton of benefit to it as well. So there are going to be returns. There are going to be issues. If you're printing enough shirts, there are going to be issues. But that's the same if you're printing them yourself. You may have fewer issues, but you also got a lot more overhead to deal with that. You're throwing away a lot more shirts, or you've got to go through those quality control steps yourself. Trying to start a business without a ton of overhead, we're just trying to avoid those things as much as possible. And that's the consequences you have to deal with, is you lose control, right? So that TikTok should have gone live here. It is live, and we have 15 views. So again, the way TikToks work, for me at least, is when you release a TikTok, it gets released to just a small circle of people. And that small circle of people, how small it is depends on how big your account is, how many followers you have, but it gets released to a small subset of people. And those people either like it and interact with it, or they don't. And if it passes their test, right, like if those people interact with it at a good enough clip, it expands to the next circle, and then it keeps doing that. So you'll see kind of these tiers of views with TikTok. Like it'll get views, and then all of a sudden it'll jump to that next tier, right? And then jump to that next tier as it meets whatever metrics TikTok is looking for to expand the viewer base. And as you know, as people come and go on the platform, certain times of the day, you'll see nice little bumps and things. So this one's only been on for like 4 minutes, and we've only got 5,000 followers. So a good video for me might get 1,000 views in the first hour or two. And then, you know, over time, it'll do between 5 and 15,000 views on average. That's about what we're averaging, with a few being exceptional and you know, going way above that, and a few being duds and being around that 2,000 view mark. So hoping that this drives a little bit of traffic. This is all we're really trying. What I wanted to do is soft launch it, right? Do a little bit of organic tests on TikTok where we're not running any other traffic. So this live stream and that TikTok is literally the only people that know the site even exists. And so we, you know, maybe we get an order or two, you know, maybe we get a few people over there. But it gives us time to kind of test and, you know, see what kind of issues we have, see if, you know, there are any problems with orders, make sure we've got Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager and all of those things set up and working. And then from there, we can try to start running ads next week. Like I want to work out all the bugs by Monday or so, and then we start trying to scale the traffic and just making sure we've got all of our T's crossed and I's dotted. So what other, you know, anybody else is watching, let me know what you think about the site. Any thoughts on what we should have done better, what we should do different. This is my first print on demand site. I'm excited. I'll be excited about that first order from someone that I do not know. That'll be an exciting time. Popping a new Dr. Pepper here. Got to keep them going. Keep the energy up. Keep moving. Okay, so somebody ordered. There's now a horse collector shirt. Someone ordered the horse collector shirt. That's how I know. It's on the most popular products. Someone ordered that shirt. I'm not going to show the order, but who ordered? Rory got me. I appreciate it, Rory. Rory testing out the site here. So that doesn't count. That one doesn't count. That's not our first order from somebody I don't know, but it does look like I got a notification from BigCommerce that the order went through. I got a notification from Guten that the order went through. And so they are, actually he ordered the Bourbon Hunter shirt. That's the one that showed up. The horse collector's one I ordered. So they seem to have gone through, just fine. So all of that seemed to work. Let me know, Rory, if you had any issues, what you would like to do different, what do you think about that? But now, Shahari, there's 4. So is it centered for you? Let me know. Let me know if it's centered for you. Man, I thought we were going to get one off that TikTok already. Let's see how our TikTok, so 4 likes out of 22 views. I mean, not terrible. Nope. One guy I know here, this guy right here he's always pushing some products. So, you know, I'm kind of paying attention to what he does and how he promotes his products and things on TikTok. Again, we're also gonna see, you know, the concern is edgy we're being with trademarks, right? Like we're staying very far away from anybody's logo. We're not, there are no logos on the website of any manufacturers. I'd love to use them, but they have not given me permission. I inquired for permission on a couple of them and was told to come back when I have sales. So we're trying to, generate sales, but like OWA, what we're using here is we're using the bottle shape. That is the shape of the bottle. Let me go grab it. Let me go grab a OWA. All right. So to show you kind of what we're doing here, this is old Weller Antique 107. This is a fairly sought after bottle. One of my favorites. This is one of my favorite bourbons right here. This is a wheated bourbon. This is going to be very similar, but not as old as what's in your Pappies and things like that. So, not to that level, but really, really good. And so we've got this bottle, but I can't use Weller, right? I can't use that word. I could use Antique 107, honestly. I don't think that's trademarked in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But, it's OWA, Old Weller Antique, is what this used to say on the label. It used to say Old Weller Antique 107. So in the Facebook groups, the Bourbon Insiders know this as OWA, O-W-A. So we've taken the bottle shape and then we've used the letters OWA over the top of it instead of any sort of logos or trademarks. I don't think the bottle is trademarked. A lot of different, a lot of folks use similar bottles, so I don't think this is trademarked in any way. Could be wrong. There are some examples like the Bourbon Hunter where it is a very distinct, the horse collector. It is a very distinct bottle shape. So we've got Blanton's here, which is a very, very distinct bottle shape. And so we're hoping we're not going to get in any trouble using the bottle shape, even though we didn't, we're talking about collecting these little stoppers. A lot of bourbon enthusiasts collect these little stoppers. They all got different poses and different letters. There's 8 different ones. And so that's kind of what we're talking about with horse collector. You collect horses. So if you're really into this bourbon, you'll get the shirt, but we're not using any trademarks, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how fast the cease and desist letters show up, because there's folks on TikTok that work for the people who make this. And so I'm sure they'll be aware of it very quickly. And if they have a problem, I'm sure I'll hear from them. Why did you choose BigCommerce for your store? That's a good question. I have a whole video covering that. Happy to talk about that though. I chose BigCommerce for strategic reasons. If I were not an agency that supports BigCommerce, I would not have chose BigCommerce. That simple. Like if you're just trying to start a print-on-demand store, just go to Shopify. Like life is going to be easier for you. But I want to run experiments. I want to learn the admin of BigCommerce a little better. Like I haven't spent a lot of time in there from a merchant perspective, playing around where things are in the menu, doing stuff like that. I have a lot of content I want to create around BigCommerce because we support it as an agency. And so this just gives me an opportunity to do all of that. If I were just trying to get sales on t-shirts, and doing print on demand, I would have chosen Shopify just because it is, the simplest to get up and going. There are a ton of resources out there on how to do it. And a ton of apps in the marketplace that are catering to this particular market. So, I'm not saying that BigCommerce is better for a site like this. And honestly, I think they would tell you the same thing. It's a fantastic platform, but for what I'm doing here, I'm not really leveraging any of its strengths at this point. It's centered now. So good. And we just needed that extra order, right? We just needed that extra order. Okay. All right. So Alex Schreck, another Jamerson employee here. He used PayPal for his order, so it is now on hold. The order came in, it went into to Guten, but it it is on hold just because I have to send, like, the money's on hold. The order's fine. It'll go through. I just have to send tracking information. I'm interested to see once Guten finishes the order, because I placed an order with PayPal too. And I'm interested to see that once the order is completed, like, I don't even know, do the order notifications go out? Do they come from Guten? Do they come from BigCommerce? Is the tracking information automatically updated? Like, I haven't tested any of these things yet. So probably should have. Like, thinking about it, probably, like, I placed some test orders, but they haven't been printed yet. Like, I just tested them yesterday or so, and then some this morning. So I'm interested to see, though, if that process of giving PayPal what it needs to then release my funds, if that's going to happen automatically, or if I've got to actually get in there and do some sort of manual step, because that's going to suck. So I'm going to have to figure out some way to automate that. So we've got work to do there. See how our TikTok's doing. I'm kind of enamored with TikTok at this point. You know, I've had a lot more success on TikTok than I've had on YouTube. So Maniac, another guy I've spent a lot of time with on TikTok. That's what's great about TikTok. You think it's just like, people tell you it's just kids dancing and twerking, and you get into the Bourbon community. Like, once you niche down, you find, you know, there's 10 or 15,000 bourbon enthusiasts in there at least, maybe more, maybe 20 or 30,000. And, you know, you find some really cool folks, a lot of folks that are a lot older than, you know, your target demographic, I guess I should say, with TikTok. And it'll be interesting to see, though, is as you build those relationships, does that translate into sales? Can we work with those people as influencers to try to drive sales? All questions that remain unanswered at this point, but, you know, interested to see how all of that goes. Man, I opened that Blanton's and now it smells like bourbon in here, and it may be a little too early in the morning to be drinking. I mean, it's never too early in the morning to be drinking, but it's too early in the morning to be drinking if I plan on getting anything done this afternoon. All right, so these are kind of the orders that have come in. Again, our test orders, and then a couple of Jamerson folks here. You can see what these cost me. These are samples that I've ordered. And then, you know, we've got a little, and this need manual approval. I think the need manual approval in Guten is just because this is the first time going through this process that they've printed some of these shirts. Even though I sent some art and I had Guten send me some prints of some of these shirts, we didn't go through the BigCommerce channel. Like, we've reset them up with the same art. So to them, they're new. So like my hats here, my sample I ordered, couple of days ago on my hat is in production, but it had this same manual approval. So I think someone there needs to look at that order and just make sure the art's good and everything's good to go before they start printing the thing, because the last thing they want is a bad print. So I'm hoping once we get a few orders on a shirt, or maybe the second order once it's approved, I don't know. Maybe after we get several orders on a shirt, there's not that manual approval phase that's needed, and it just speeds the process up a little bit. Gets the sales going a little faster. But we'll see. This is all new. We're learning. My chair's sliding down. I get lower and lower and lower as I go here. Something in the mechanism of this chair, like the shock is good, but that little mechanism to let the chair up and down, if I lean just right, I hit it and the chair goes down. And I tend to lean forward when I'm on these live streams. It's fine if I'm just like laid back and chilled, but I tend to lean forward. So what questions do you have? If there are any questions on, you know, what we've done so far, the choices we've made, any of the shirts, thoughts on what you guys would do better and different, because we do have a lot of plans, right? Like, this is not fully fleshed out. That is not what I would recommend to someone, right? Get it up with an MVP and get to selling. Like that's like I didn't even have Google Analytics set up. So just get the thing out there, get it selling, and then work on what's working, what's not working for you. If we're getting traffic on it and people are not buying, well, then we need to improve our conversion rates or get better products. If we're not getting traffic, then we need to rectify that. So this is a soft launch, and next week we're going to try to pick that traffic up. Yes, Garrison, we definitely plan on using BigCommerce as channel features. We are absolutely going to try to get these products on Etsy for sure. We've got to figure out what channels. But that is another real big benefit of using BigCommerce for us, is that we want to test these out a little more, see what works, see where the holes are. Like I've already found, 3 or 4 things that I don't like about how BigCommerce handles things. And so, there might be an opportunity for us to build some tools and, try to add some stuff that makes it an even better platform, or makes it easier for our merchants to manage their products or their site or things like that. So, and the channel distribution is one of those. So let's get some products in there. What are the holes? What's good about it? What's bad about it? How do we improve it? We want to know inside and out all the aspects of BigCommerce. And it's easy to research and play around and test, but it's funny how many issues or how many things you miss when you're not actually trying to achieve some objective, right? Like I have this business outcome or this business goal that I need to try to achieve. And so let me think through how to do that and utilize these tools to do it. And you find, your knowledge gets a lot more deep. So we want to do that, and fairly soon. I really think that's a great driver of potential sales for us, is to get on platforms that already have traffic, right? And so right now we've got this site set up, and it's always been this debate of selling on Amazon or selling on Shopify. I hear so many people, especially when they're first getting started, they're like, don't worry about selling on Shopify or your own site or anything like that. Just sell on Amazon. It's easier. But that's a mistake, right? Like you don't control that relationship. So it's good to sell on those platforms that have traffic, but know that your business is a bit risky when you're doing that, because that relationship is with the customer, is with the platform, not with your business. And, we want those sales. We want to take advantage of that opportunity, but we wanted to start with our own, control our own relationships with our customers, and then expand into those other arenas to try to leverage that for some increased volume, some increased, I don't want to say increased margin, but try to leverage that for that increase in sales, and to generate some revenue that we could then leverage to grow our own audience and our own customer base. So what have you used the BigCommerce channel features, and if so, which platforms did you use? And so I don't think our shirts would do particularly well on Amazon. And I don't think Amazon really wants you putting print on demand products on the site anyway. So I think that's against their terms of service. I'm pretty sure drop shipping stuff is, at least drop shipping from China is. So I'm going to probably avoid that. I think Etsy could be big for us. I'm not so sure about eBay. I don't know much about selling shirts on eBay. If we were selling car parts, sure, but don't know much about apparel over there. But there's a lot of people selling similar products to ours, although I don't think they're either completely and totally ignoring copyrights on logos and just straight using Bourbon logos, or their designs are not as good as ours. So hopefully we can stand out in that. I think if you're into Bourbon, if you get it, right? Like if you don't know anything, my share keeps going down. If you don't know anything about Bourbon, I understand how you might not get the designs, but if you do, I think these are really, really well done. So we'll see if others do, right? Like my opinion does not matter. The only thing that matters is what the customers think. So my TikTok has not yet generated any sales. And there's a few people that have clicked on it that I'm like, those might be somebody that would buy. But we're getting some views, some likes. And it's kind of a funny TikTok. What we did there is, y'all, I'm not gonna get I guess I could probably turn my headphones off and play the audio. Let's refresh that, and I'm going to turn the audio on here and see if y'all can hear this. Move it over a little bit for you. But what we did is we took these horses and we lined up. I have all 8 of them, so we lined up all 8 of these horses, and we did a stop motion, and then I did some audio over the top of it. So let's see if this works. Oh, where's my audio? All right.
And they're off. It's Horse Stopper taking the early on the outside. He's pushing to a length and a half. Coming up to the stretch. Can anyone catch him? I don't think so. He's pulling away at the line, and it's going to be Horse Stopper by 3 lengths.
So it's a simple TikTok. It didn't take that long to do. It's mostly editing. These are just still photographs we put in. And what we're experimenting with there, the thought behind that is, can we take what might do okay as a TikTok and have it not be an ad, and then it be an ad, right? Like I was going to release that as just a regular TikTok, but how can we, maybe sneak an ad in at the end? If it does pretty well, if people watch it, people are liking it, and then they see the ad at the end, how does that work in TikTok? Or we're also going to take and run it as an ad. We're going to run some product ads. We're going to do, different things with TikTok. It's all an experiment, because I don't know what's going to work. I don't know what's not going to work. We are just having fun with it and trying to see how we can generate sales. All right, checking in the chat here. I thought Amazon already has a print-on-demand service, merch by Amazon. Maybe so. I don't keep up with Amazon's terms, but maybe they do. Maybe they're completely okay with you having print-on-demand on their site. But the problem is they want everything shipped really quickly. Like, you got a window to get things shipped. Print-on-demand may or may not ship in that window. So, I don't know. I know they used to frown upon it, right? Like, the last thing they want is somebody to order something and it's shipped from China and take a month to get to them. The last thing they want is that. Now, in our case with Gooten, most of these orders are going to ship within a week. So 6 days, 6 business days at the most. 99% of their orders have shipped. And then, usually they're printed fairly close to where they're actually going. So, like, for instance, Rory's order or Alex's order that we've gotten this morning because they're out west, will probably be printed at a different place than where mine's printed. I'm interested to see. So if y'all, when you get your package, let me know where those orders actually came from. And of course I'll check their tracking to see where they came from as well. Because I don't know, but that's the thinking, so that their shipping time should be cut down. Like, once it actually ships, it should get to its destination fairly quickly. Because they've got a lot of fulfillment options all across the country. And I'm not sure, like, when you send a new order to a new fulfillment center, that may also be part of that slowdown in manual approval, just because it's new for that location and not necessarily new in general. But we'll see. All right. So keep the questions coming. I'll answer them. Otherwise, we're going to shut this stream down here in just a minute. I just wanted to stream for a little while here and get the site up, and share that with y'all, right? Like, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can as I go through this process, and make sure that, all the information I have, I'm giving to you. I keep getting shorter and shorter with this freaking with this freaking chair. I'm gonna have to get another streaming chair. Like, I'm gonna be way down. I don't know if it really comes across with me zoomed out or zoomed in like this. But if I lean forward just right, I'm gonna be way down here. Let's just go. Okay, now I'm at bottom. That is as low as it will go. I feel like a small child with the table way up here. Yeah, daily momentum. Amazon doesn't allow drop shipping. So, I mean, it's you understand why though, right? Like what they're trying to do with 2-day shipping, 1-day shipping, like it makes sense. Garrison, have y'all budgeted anything in regards to building CAC into the products? We haven't really budgeted anything into anything at this point, right? Like that's kind of the problem. What do you budget? Right? We expect that the acquisition costs are going to be on ads are going to be about $10 per order. Like that's just kind of what we're thinking. But that's a guess. Like, is it a budget if we're guessing? Now we've got our products priced to where we can make money at $10 just because that's, kind of industry standard estimations there. But if it's more than that, we're going to have to obviously figure that out. But we have looked at what other folks are doing as far as pricing shirts like this. And we're a little lower than some of them. So I'm not sure if we're cutting our margin or if, the customer acquisition costs are just going to be a little bit higher than we expected. So we haven't exactly budgeted, but we have guessed, we have built that in. So kinda, I guess. But we'll see, right? Like at this point, it's all an experiment. And so, without really knowing what those customer acquisition costs are, it's difficult. If this were the, third, fourth, fifth print on demand site I'd done, or if I had done some Bourbon stuff in the past, I might know better what it would take to reach that audience. We're not even sure how well we're going to be able to reach that audience at this point, much less what it's going to cost. So $10 is what we're hoping, or less. Let me know, does that sound like a decent estimation to you? Do you think we're estimating too low? Do you think we're estimating too high? Too high would be wonderful. I could always use more profit. What we're trying to do though is on that first order, we're not going to make hardly anything. Like we're not making much. That first order, you're going to have to pay shipping. So when you go to the site to order, say you want this Bourbon Hunter shirt right here, you're going to be, let's stay on the small size. Obviously there's some additional charges for larger size. So let's stay on the small side. You're going to add that to cart. You're going to, I've got a bunch of stuff in my cart. You're going to have shipping costs, right? That's what it boils down to. You're going to have shipping costs that come with this shirt until you get to 3 shirts. So if you're ordering 1, you're going to be $27.99 and shipping is going to be like $5. So you're going to be at $32.99. And my cost on this shirt's probably going to be somewhere right around in here shipped. Maybe less. I'm not going to, let me see. I'm going to look at Rory's order, but I'm not going to show it to all of y'all. Don't want to be doxing him on the stream here. All right. So his order, I'm trying to process all this. So he had to pay $4 in shipping, and then he bought the shirt. It's not exactly matching up with what I have in my cart. Let me look for another one here. All right, so this test order here matches up with what I have in my cart. So this cost me $12.89. So that order cost me $12. So if I actually placed this order, if someone placed this order for $27.99, it's going to cost me like $12.99. So, basically that's $15. Now, if it took us $10 to get that person over here, that's only about $5 or so left in profit. And so, not to mention credit card processing fees. We've got, right now we get like the first 5,000 transactions. We get tax calculations on that for free, but then they're going to charge us like 30 cents a transaction after that. So, that stuff's going to get eaten up pretty well. So you're not going to make much. And then you got to think about returns or, anything like that. So basically, someone coming and buying one t-shirt, if we do $10, acquisition costs is going to be break even. Like it's going to be break even, which is why we're really going to have to work on emphasizing this buy 2 shirts, buy 3, buy 5, and trying to get these people on the mailing list to then get return orders at a lower acquisition cost. So we're not going to make an awful lot of money there off of one shirt orders. Unless we can get organic traffic. That's another thing we're hoping, right? Is that we have some traffic, and then we can use TikTok. We're gonna, start working on a Facebook strategy, an Instagram strategy, YouTube strategy for this, which is fun because we don't, our customers don't usually create content at that level. So it's going to be good for us to see how well that works and how well we can drive more organic views over there. You have to factor in the cost to create all of that content, but long term, it's an investment that could pay off really well as far as organic traffic. As long as you think you've built customer acquisition costs into the first purchase and then focus on getting repeat customers. Yeah, I mean, we think we have, but until you don't know. So it looks like we're going to be basically break even on first purchase. That's kind of what we're going for. Not lose money on the first purchase. If we make $1, wonderful. If you're doing the first purchase, one shirt, first purchase, because we're going to try to do some things to really increase the percentage of people that go to buy 2 shirts. Like right now, this is the very basic where we just have a banner and it's automatically in the cart. And I hate how this works. Like if you go to 2, start at $55, but then you get $5.99 discount. It should be $5.98 discount. I'll have to fix that, but it's fine. $5.99 discount, so you're basically at $50, but you're going to have to pay for shipping. If you go to 3, then you get a discount to get it down to $70, and you should get free shipping here after you add your info. So we're really trying to get people to buy 3 shirts while they're here. That's really the goal. We're going to have a larger selection. We're going to have to really add some notifications and things to get people to see. Like when you add one, be like, hey man, you're already paying $30 for the shirt. If you would just buy another one for $20 more, you're going to get another shirt. And then once they do that, be like, dude, this is like $50 plus you're going to end up paying like $8 in shipping on this. You're at $58. So, for $12 more, you could just go ahead and get another shirt and we'll pay for shipping. So we want to add those, kind of coax them along. But again, MVP, get it up, get it selling, whatever you got to do. And then we revise it to make it more elaborate as we go. All right. Our TikTok has not generated sales and we're at 82 views. That's disappointing. But we've gotten absolutely no comments on the TikTok. That could be part of it, right? Like we're getting views. It's been up for 30 minutes, only 83 views though. That's not a very high performing TikTok for us. But we haven't really posted much lately. Like I've been busy, so that may be TikTok punishing us for not being consistent. All right, guys. Well, that is the stream. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to give you another couple of minutes here, and I'll get those answered for you. And happy to stay and talk, but I'm not just going to talk randomly. Advertising on the Bourbon Trail newspaper and billboards would be interesting to experiment with. I agree, Garrison. Also, what we, if we can get officially licensed, that'll open up some opportunities as well, right? Like, can we take these shirts and go from print on demand to actually putting them in stores somewhere, right? There's some opportunity there, but the Bourbon Trail, um, we might be able to work with some of these distilleries to actually create shirts for them or designs for them. I don't know. The problem with that is us not printing them ourselves. Like if we were printing them ourselves, then yeah, I could sell them at wholesale, make a little money, do exclusive designs for some of the stops on the Bourbon Trail. There is opportunity, but shirts are just the beginning of what we want to do here. Like that's not the ultimate end game. Although I think we could get to our $1 million in sales with just bourbon shirts. But we want to do all sorts of bourbon related merchandise, signs and glassware and all sorts of different things. We've just got to figure out how to get sales for folks that are not Jamerson employees. That's going to be the trick, right? That is going to be the ticket. But there's a lot of plans there, right? Like we've got a lot of plans if it's successful. But again, it's all ifs. It's all hypothetical. And that's what we're trying to do by going ahead and launching this thing is turn it from a hypothetical into a thing that is actually happening. And either it's successful or it flops. Like I'm okay with that outcome. I don't care, right? Like everybody be like, hey, you didn't make $1 million. So still had fun, still learned a lot. All right, guys. Well, we will catch up with all of y'all later. Y'all have a nice afternoon. Have a nice weekend. And so we'll talk to y'all later. See if I can figure out how to end the stream. That's a good thing I got to figure out how to do. I don't even where's my end card? There's my end card right there. Boom. Nope. That is not my end card. That's not the end card. Lord have mercy. It's amateur hour. I've redone all my shortcuts and everything, and it's a flipping mess. But what I don't want to do is just end the stream and then y'all get cut off. But I also just don't see my end card here at all. Like I don't even think I have it in this. So I'm just going to end